Good evening, everyone, and welcome. My name is Joseph Giovanni, and alongside my co-moderator, Layla Osgurt, we are proud to serve as the current presidents of the Eastchester High School Mock Trial and Debate Clubs. It is truly an honor to moderate tonight's Meet the Candidates Forum. Before we begin, please join Janina in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
We are grateful for your presence this evening. Tonight's event reflects the values that define our Eastchester community: collaboration, transparency, and respect. So whether you are here in person or joining us from home, your engagement reflects a strong commitment to the future of our schools and our community. We would also like to thank everyone who submitted questions, as your input plays an important part in shaping thoughtful discussion and informed decision-making. The debate will follow a structured format. Each candidate will begin with a 90-second opening statement, and then they will respond to questions with 1 minute allotted per response. Each candidate will have the opportunity to use up to 2 rebuttals, each lasting 30 seconds, and rebuttals will not receive responses. Finally, candidates will deliver a 60-second closing statement each. To ensure fairness, no electronic communication, such as texting, social media, etc., will be permitted for the candidates during the forum. Let's work together to make this an evening of thoughtful dialogue, mutual respect, and meaningful civic engagement. We will now begin with the questions.
My name is Benjamin Loriello, and this question is from the Eastchester Government Organization. What do you feel like the main focus of the board for our district should be for the coming year? We'll start with Mr. Kornman and go down the line.
Sorry, I believe we usually start with the opening statements. Did we skip that?
That's the opening statements. We could start with the opening statements.
Okay, sorry. Hello, my name is Reed Kornman. I'm a father of 3 small children who are currently attending Eastchester schools. My family has lived near Greenville for nearly 8 years. I am an active member of our neighborhood association, a volunteer for the local repair cafe, and continue to be active in multiple volunteer organizations. I have been in the technology field for over 15 years, and I started working at the age of 15 in my high school as an advocate for a technology advocacy group in my junior year. I was the first student webmaster and an assistant network administrator for the school district. For the past 10 years, I've worked at Pfizer expanding their digital capabilities, specifically in cancer, rare disease, and other specialties. I served as a global leader in my department during COVID, ensuring my team continues to operate effectively during a difficult time. My greatest strength is my ability to be dropped into any situation, orient myself, and deliver on time and on budget every single time. I currently serve as the AI Immersive and Engineering Services Lead at Pfizer. I have balanced multi-year, multi-million-dollar budgets and vast global teams across multiple diverse organizations. I plan to utilize my skills in this difficult time to bring an efficiency-focused approach to maximize the use of our budget. Our current trend over recent years is unsustainable and needs a fresh set of eyes to continue to bring the best services and programs to our students. I plan to push forward building out the capability of our current staff while minimizing the need for outside contracted companies to operate. Thank you.
Good evening, and thank you to the students, families, teachers, and community members here tonight. My name is Rob Krakowski, and it's been an honor to serve as your Board of Education trustee for the past 3 years. During that time, we haven't just maintained strong schools, we've expanded programs, strengthened outcomes, and are now seeing our students succeed at the highest levels. But my connection to this district goes beyond serving on the board. I'm a proud father of 2 children. My daughter Bridget is at the middle school, and my son Luke is at Ann Hutch. Like many of you, my family is deeply invested in our schools and this community. When I joined the board, the district was at a turning point. Over the past 5 years, the board has made tough decisions to move Eastchester forward, bringing in new leadership both at the district level and the building levels, strengthening accountability, and refocusing on what matters most, our students. Those decisions weren't always easy, but they were necessary. Today, we're seeing the results: stronger leadership across the district, improved programs, and continued investment in both academic excellence and student well-being, with real progress year over year. That doesn't happen by accident. It happens through disciplined governance, collaboration, and a willingness to act when it matters most. My approach is simple: listen first, lead with integrity, and make decisions that put students at the center, while being responsible stewards of the community's trust. We've made meaningful progress, but we're not done. I'm proud to be running alongside Jill and Sean, and together we are committed to building on this momentum and continuing to elevate Eastchester. I'd be grateful for your support at the upcoming election on May 19th. Thank you.
Good evening, and thank you to the panel, debate clubs, advisors, and everyone joining us tonight. My name is Brenna Gethers, and I'm running for the Eastchester School Board because I believe in elevating Eastchester together. My deepest connection to the district is as a mother of 2 wonderful daughters. We've walked the halls of Waverly, Ann Hutch, and Eastchester Middle School, seeing the incredible impact our educators have every single day. Beyond being an invested parent, I bring diverse professional expertise. 10 years of operations management for 2 Fortune 500 companies gave me real-life experience in budget management, supply and demand, and daily operations. As a New York State code enforcer official with municipal government experience, I look closely at policies and budgets with an eye for efficiency, transparency, and safety, ensuring we support our schools without sacrificing resident monies. I also hold a sociology degree from Brandeis and a legal certificate from Cornell. A quick fun fact: before public service, I was the lead singer and an American Idol alumna. It has taught me about performing under pressure and finding harmony, which is valuable board skills. Ultimately, I want to use my practical experience to support our teachers, advocate for our students, and ensure every child thrives. Thank you.
Good evening, and thank you to everyone here tonight. I'd like to thank the Debate Club for organizing this event, along with our community, administration, teachers, staff, and all stakeholders who care deeply about the future of our schools. Your engagement is what makes this district so special. My name is Sean Fallon, and it has been an honor to serve on the Board of Education, and I am proud to seek a second term. My commitment to this district is not only as a board member, but as an invested parent. My daughter Mia is 10 and will attend EMS next year. Emma is 9 at Ann Hutch, and Luca will also be at Ann Hutch next year and is 6. Like so many families, I care deeply about the education, opportunities, and environment our children experience every day. Professionally, I bring more than 20 years of business and leadership experience. I am a partner at a respected wealth management firm where I focus on operations, client success, and driving growth strategic initiatives, investments, and partnerships. This experience has helped me bring a practical, thoughtful, and fiscally responsible approach to board service. Over the past term, we have had meaningful progress together. We've seen some gains to math and ELA scores, strengthened college placement and guidance services, and expanded AP offerings. We have also invested in special education to better support all learners while moderating the broader curriculum to prepare students for skills and critical thinking of the future. I'd also be proud to continued growth to our athletic programs and arts as we expand and know that every learner deserves to have an opportunity. There is still more work to do, and I'm energized by the opportunity to keep facilitating this process. I look forward to positioning the future, and please remember to vote for Rob, Jill, and Sean.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here. My name is Jill Cosentino, and it has been a true honor to serve our community as a member of the Board of Education over the past 3 years. Born and raised in Eastchester, I'm a proud third-generation resident with 3 children currently attending the schools in 3 different buildings across our district. Beyond my perspective as a parent, my 20 years as a partner in one of the largest Big 4 accounting firms has defined my approach to strategic leadership. I bring this disciplined vision to the board to ensure we lead with clarity and always prioritize our students' long-term success. Over the last 3 years, we have made meaningful progress by focusing on what truly matters, the future success of our students. First and foremost, we have significantly strengthened school safety and expanded student wellness resources, ensuring our campuses are secure and welcoming spaces. Academically, we have broadened the pathways available to everyone by expanding access to AP classes, enhancing our college prep programs, and introducing real-world career skills. We are opening doors for all learners. We have modernized our core curriculum, embedded critical thinking and technology skills necessary to prepare our graduates for the demands of the 21st century. Because we know education happens beyond the classroom, we have also made deep investments in our arts and athletic programs. We have achieved this while maintaining fiscal responsibility, ensuring we get maximum value and impact out of every dollar invested in our schools. And the results speak for themselves. Eastchester has earned recognition from U.S. News and World Report. Our academic performance continues to rise across all buildings, shown by increased AP participation, scores, and improved math and ELA scores in our elementary. And our graduating seniors are gaining acceptance into outstanding colleges and universities across the country. I am running for re-election to build on this momentum. Thank you.
We'll now start with the first question. This question is from the Eastchester Government Organization. What do you feel like the main focus of the board for our district should be for the coming year? We'll start with Mr. Kornman and then go down the line. Yes. What do you feel like the main focus of the board for our district should be for the coming year?
Thank you for that question. I think the main focus should be in bringing value without regard to spending money that we don't have, and bringing the balance back within the school and not contracting out to external sources. I feel like we've overreached quite a bit, and we need to train the resources that we have to achieve what we can.
Mr. Krukowski?
Would you mind repeating the question one more time?
Yes. What do you feel like the main focus of the board for our district should be for the coming year?
I think the main focus for the coming year should be twofold. I think we need to continue to build on the strength that the district has established over the last several years, and we are starting to finally see the results of that. I think if anyone participated in the, who has not seen the presentation from April 21st on just what's going on from the elementary school to the high school to the outcomes that our students are having, those are the real results and real outcomes that we're seeing. So I think that needs to be a continued focus to maintain that momentum, but we need to balance that, right? We need to balance that by making smart decisions. We need to be evaluating our budget. We need to be evaluating programs that are nice to haves, and are they truly helping us continue to achieve that goal?
Ms. Geathers?
Yes, thank you for the question. I really do believe our main focus should be developing who we have versus outsourcing. When we talk about elevating our district, it starts with the people in our buildings. We must be a district that not only attracts top-tier educators, but actively retains them. In my years of operation management, I have learned that consistently outsourcing to outside contractors and expensive vendors is a fast way to inflate a budget without guaranteeing better results. Relying on external consultants who do not know our kids and our community costs us more than just money. Thank you.
Mr. Fellon?
Thank you. So I want to echo the sentiments of Trustee Krakowski over here. So it's kind of a twofold approach. We want to continue to drive everything we're doing forward. We're seeing the improvements in the scores, as I mentioned in my opener. We're seeing students at the high school level get the support that they need to apply to the right colleges. We're investing in the right places. But we do have to balance how we're spending that money and where we're going to it. Now, what I will want to comment on is that we are investing in our own people. We are bringing in the talent. We have totally revamped our administrative staff. We are retaining the teachers. We are doing the professional development in district, and that is what we are trying to do with this new budget. So we are emphasizing the fact that our people that we have are the right people, and we are making sure they stay here, and we're going to continue to make sure they stay here. And once again, every district, unfortunately, is going through what we are going through with the current budget. But we are doing our job to invest in our students and their outcomes, and we're going to continue to do so without increasing to this degree on a go-forward because we have a plan in place.
Ms. Cosentino?
Thank you. I'll reemphasize a lot of what Rob and Sean said and even agree with some of what the other candidates said. We have, as being board members for the past 3 years, laid the foundation for all of these things. We have advanced our curriculum. We have invested in that. We have invested in the administrative team that we have today. That is now something that we need to continue to build momentum on. We need to give them the opportunity to continue to elevate our schools with the skills that they have to bring us forward. There does not need to be additional investments all the time. We just need to continue to see and reap the benefits of our reward and what we have already put in place. And I think as a experienced trustee, we have the ability to be able to see what that is and assess and reassess exactly what is working, what may not be working, and pivot from there. I think, generally speaking, as Sean and Rob had said, we are seeing the results already, as I also indicated in my opener. And as far as being able to, ensure that we are teaching our children in our buildings, we have actually brought back lots of students into our district that had been outsourced previously and have been making a lot of progress in that regard. Thank you.
Does anyone want to rebuttal? Then we can move on to the next question.
Thank you. We have a question from the Greenville PTA. What are your top 3 priorities as a Board of Education member for the district? We will begin with Mr. Krukowski.
Thank you. I think the top 3 priorities are similar to the way I said the other question and provided the answer to the other question. I think the first thing is we've created a district that's no longer standing still, right? We have the momentum right now. We've provided the right type of investment, and we need to look at each building from the elementary schools to the high schools to determine where are those investments and what are those outcomes. The outcomes that we're seeing are driving real results. Certain pilot programs that we have initiated, I think that is a proper approach to assess the way a program is operating, and we're seeing that in the elementary schools with Destination Imagination, Junior Great Books programs. So we need to continue to look at the strategic priorities that we've outlined, and I would say that's a top priority. The second priority is budget and making sure that we are continuing to evaluate, like I said, the must-need, I guess I'm out of time, but I'll just close it out by the nice-to-haves versus the must-haves in terms of the budget. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Krukowski. Ms. Gethers?
Yes, the 3 top priorities for a board member I'm going to state are strategic allocation, transparent oversight, and really listening to our entire community for complete advocation. With regard to the strategic allocation, we really need to make sure that increased funding directly impacts the student learning. Higher spending does not automatically equal better educational outcomes. Also, transparent oversight, sustainable improvements rely on clear financial accountability. And also just really listening to not only our parents, but our entire demographic, our retirees, everyone that is invested in our students. We really need to listen and advocate for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gethers. Mr. Phelan?
Thank you. So the 3 things that I want to touch upon, one is definitely the budget. I think that is a primary reason we have to continue to look at the investments we've making and not just be complacent and make sure that we have alignment through the schools that coordinate with the budget without dramatically increasing and spending taxpayer dollars unnecessarily. That is not what has been done, and what we've been focusing on is really driving through and improving our curriculum and driving new initiatives without dramatically increasing certain costs internally. What I will also say is that the vast majority of our budget has gone directly to programs. So that has gone directly to students in the classroom. That has gone directly to supporting the teachers. Those are the investments that go to them. We've upgraded the classrooms. through the technology budget. That is also something that I'm big on this year. I want to make sure that we continue to support what we have in all of this to 21st century learning, and making sure that we're leveraging technology to its most efficient state in a way that can help also reduce the cost in the budget. So there is some coordination there as well.
Thank you, Mr. Fellon. Now, Ms. Cosentino.
Thank you. My top three priorities are sort of in line here. I definitely would agree. Communication and listening to the community is certainly top priority for me. I think that we've implemented a lot of changes in that regard with this board. We do surveys literally for everything that we think about doing. For example, as a community member, you may have seen the community asked for free lunch. We did a survey for that. We weighed the pros and cons. Same thing with the high school scheduling. We did a survey for that. We weighed the pros and cons. We actually took feedback from the community in the survey to determine how we were going to modify what our first implementation was. And we listened to the students as well. Second priority is certainly budget. Not only is it managing the budget we have, but it's also forecasting. That's something that, as a board, we have decided that we want to focus on this year to think forward, make sure we're using our resources in the right way, and know what our resources are for going forward. And the third would be 21st century learning. I do not want to go backwards. I want to make sure that we use everything that we've invested in appropriately and make sure that we are not stagnant. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Cosentino. Oh, yeah. Does anyone want to rebuttal? Oh, Mr. Corman.
Thank you for the opportunity to answer. My top three priorities seem to be common here: financial responsibility, transparency, and long-term planning. I feel there's a lot of things that are interrelated there. There's pre-K for all, which is coming, and I haven't seen a plan for that yet. There's EV buses, which are coming, which the board has not planned for because it's been a mandate for years coming. There's also the Destination Imagination, which is quite costly, and we could have solved internally, which is related to the financial responsibility, which the board has had 9 years to solve, and we have not planned appropriately for. Transparency, we haven't seen the plan that is long-term, that is in place ahead of time. I feel like we see it as it is executed. So, thank you. That is my answer.
I apologize, Mr. Corman.
That's
Thank
okay.
you. Does anyone want to rebuttal? Mr. Fellon.
Yeah, so I just want to touch upon the fact that we haven't applied for the EV buses through the state. So the fact of the matter is the state changes their mind every single day. So we don't know what's going to actually happen. The second part is, while we're talking about being fiscally responsible, we do not have the infrastructure to support charging the buses, ensuring that they continue to run, and they've already done studies that will show they're going to cost districts $8 to $9 billion over the first 5 years. So the fact of the matter is, and the buses cost 3 times what the current buses cost. So the fact of the matter is, unfortunately, it's extremely expensive, something that we are not going to readily take on as a district.
Thank you, Mr. Fellon. Theodore, give off.
Good evening, I'm Audrey Badlians. We have a question from the Waverly PTA. How will you ensure our youngest learners receive the foundational support they need, especially in literacy and social emotional development during these critical early years? We'll start with Ms. Geathers.
Thank you so much to the Waverly PTA for that question. Reading literacy is super important in my household. I do believe in early education, not waiting to see if we can figure things out, but really getting a head start on things. We need to be really investing in phonics. We really need to be investing in teachers who can really get and engage our young learners as they are just starting out in their career and they are not used to sitting for those amount of hours. Just for instance, my own children were early readers proficiently at the age of 3. So I am going to really look at what we have in place and see if that is sufficient. And if it's not, then we really need to go back to the drawing board. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Geathers. Now for Mr. Fellon.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes. From the Waverly PTA, what are your priorities when it comes to class size? From the Waverly PTA as well, how will you ensure our youngest learners receive the foundational support they need, especially in literacy and social emotional development during these early critical years?
Absolutely. Well, I can tell you firsthand that Waverly is a very special place. I've had 3 kids go through Waverly, and it saddens me that I'm going to see my youngest leave. What I will comment on is that we have implemented literacy curriculum to ensure that it's aligned with the science of reading. We want to build the strongest fundamentals for the youngest learners so they can, which is one of our strategic goals, to get everybody up to the on-par reading level by grade 3. So we have really driven investment in that for our youngest learners. We've also focused on revamping our MTSS structures to ensure that the youngest learners are getting push-in services so that if they need assistance in reading, math, so on and so forth, they have that capability. And we make sure that we have targeted learning experience for all kids so they are supported there.
Thank you so much. Ms. Casanito?
Yes, thank you. I could repeat everything Sean said because that's all factual and a great example of all the things that we have implemented at Waverly. My third daughter and last daughter is currently entered Waverly, and so it's very exciting. She's been there 4 years last, my middle daughter, so it's a totally different experience, and I can say for sure that seeing her go through kindergarten at Waverly has been exponentially different and so much better than it was 4 years before that. And as a result of that, for example, junior grade books, I would use as a good example of one of the things that we've implemented to get the kids into group learning environments and out of sitting just there in front of the teacher all day and learning. And she comes home every day with that book and talks about it, and I can really see how her ability to read has been so much faster than my prior kids. So I'm just very proud and excited for that.
Thank you so much. Mr. Kornman?
Thank you. I have 3 small kids, so this really hits home for me. We read to them every night. It's something that they look forward to, and I feel like nurturing that is vastly important. It's unfortunately a reality right now that we're going to lose some librarians, but hopefully we can remedy that in the future. I think listening to the students, not only the ones that are doing things well, but those that are struggling, making careful adjustments when possible, and also listening to the teachers. And, those are the key sources of where we should be making our adjustments, and they shouldn't be drastic. We should make fine-tuned adjustments because we are doing a great job right now.
Thank you so much. And finally, Mr. Krukowski.
Great, thank you. I believe in taking a whole child approach to education, and that includes nurturing our students' social emotional development. It's essential that we equip the students with the right tools and skills they need to navigate these challenges, especially at a young age. I think everything that we look to build from a K through 12 program starts at the youngest ages. And they need to be able to navigate those challenges, healthy relationships, and succeed beyond the classroom. My daughter was in Waverly at the tail end of COVID, so she missed some key learning and social emotional learning aspects during that time period. I'm proud about the investments that we've made in those schools, in Waverly and the elementary school, and I think we have the right leadership at the building levels now and in the district office to continue to evaluate that and make sure we're implementing smart curriculum, evaluating how that can continue to progress.
Thank you so much, Mr. Krukowski. Does anyone have a rebuttal? Okay, we'll move on then.
This next question is from the Ann Hutch PTA. What is your approach to partnering with PTAs and parent organizations to ensure transparency, collaboration, and alignment with district priorities? We will start with Mr. Fellon.
Can you repeat the question, please?
What is your approach to partnering with PTAs and parent organizations to ensure transparency, collaboration, and alignment with district priorities?
Thank you. So on a personal level, my wife was the former PTA president at multiple schools, so I understand how important the PTA is to not only our students, but in the correspondence with the teachers and getting the word out there and working with us. As evident from Ann Hutch, actually, they have done an excellent job in supporting the classrooms, in purchasing furniture for multiple classrooms to get us upgraded to 21st century learning facilities. So, Brenna, to your point earlier, we want to make sure that people are getting up and moving and not just being spoken to, because we understand that that is not a successful way to hold a classroom. The PTA has done an excellent job with that, and we look forward to continuing our work with them to do more things that are falling in line with that. So thank you to the PTA, by the way. You've done an excellent job.
Ms. Cosentino,
Thank you. Can you just repeat the question one more time?
what is your approach to partnering with PTAs and parent organizations to ensure transparency, collaboration, and alignment with district priorities?
Thank you. So I think as a board member, it is very important for us to collaborate with the PTAs. We actually have each board member holds a role, a position where they attend the PTA meetings. Each board member is responsible for one of the PTAs of our districts. And that is a way for us to listen and collaborate with the PTAs to understand what is important to them. We want our goals as a board and a district to exactly align with what the PTA goals are as well and be on the same page. Some examples of that are the coffees and conversations that we've also implemented. We have coffee and conversation that is hosted by the PTAs and the board as well as the superintendent. We are able to get feedback there from all of the PTAs as well as the community. All of that feedback has actually been collected, and we sit as a board and we reflect on that and determine, what have we missed? What do we need to change? What do we need to address that we haven't yet addressed? Feedback is super important to all of us. Thank you.
Mr. Kornman?
So PTA has a deep memory for me going back to childhood, so it's extremely important. My wife is very active in the PTA, and I help her wherever possible. I feel like in order to provide all the pieces that are needed to run effectively as a school, the PTA is one of the most important pieces. We have to meet them where they are. We have to engage them when we run up against impossibilities, because I've seen quite an incredible group of PTA volunteers do things that seemed impossible. So we should use them as an equal partner to solve problems and make this the best school we can.
Mr. Krukowski?
Great, thank you. My wife spent time serving on the PTA as well, so I have an intimate experience with just how important they can be. I think to echo what Joe and Sean have said, right, there's a lot this board has done in the past to engage the PTAs with dedicated board representatives on the PTA, coffee and conversations. I think there's opportunity, though, right, to, when we look at the vision, our strategic priorities, obviously everything's public and presented at our Board of Ed meetings, but there's opportunities to really maybe go deeper with the PTAs to make sure they truly understand where we're going, why we're going there. We know that not many people show up to the board meetings live. We see that people stream it, but there's still not that many. So how do we make sure that the PTAs, when we are presenting key information, truly understand it, as well as understand the priorities that they're solving? Because there's great things that the PTAs do, but there might be better opportunities to provide more synergies on how they're raising dollars and how they can help further initiatives that the school district needs as well. Thank you.
Ms. Gathers?
So I just want to talk about PTA. I have not been able to afford to join the PTA, and I think that does not include everybody. Not everybody has disposable income, and they can just toss a membership fee, which has really kind of hurt me being able to really take part. Yes, I Zoom them, or yes, I chime in and come in, but I really would like to make the PTA, I know it's fundraising, but accessible to all, even if financially others cannot join. That being said, I want to continue to foster a collaborative environment with the PTA. A lot of PTA members really do struggle to get engagement with the community, and I would like to be able to see more community engagement, but not have financial roadblocks, keeping others out that want to participate. Thank you.
Does anyone want to rebuttal?
Can I just do?
Yes, Ms. Cosentino.
Thank you. I just want to note that even if you can't afford to join the PTA, there are, you should reach out because there are ability for people who cannot, that they will help you. And the other thing is, even if you cannot join, all the students in the district are still benefiting from all of the money that is raised by the PTA equally. So just your children are experiencing that.
If I can rebuttal as well, I have reached out, and sometimes there aren't waivers that are accessible. Maybe I will have some new steps in being able to join. But again, we are grateful to be able to have our children enjoy a lot of the hard work that the PTA has made. Thank you.
Would anyone else like to rebuttal?
Thank you. The next question is from the Greenville PTA. What measures do you plan to implement to prevent a significant tax increase in the future? We will now begin with Ms. Cosentino.
I'll ask you just to repeat one more time, sorry.
No problem. What measures do you plan to implement to prevent a significant tax increase in the future?
Thank you. The most important thing that, as a board, we've discussed implementing with our new superintendent of finance is a forecasted budget. And that is one of the things that we have started already. It's actually started a few months ago. It's part of our long-term plan to ensure just that. The other thing is to make sure that we are utilizing our resources appropriately. That's something that we do every year, even coming up with the budget this year. As you can see if you've paid attention to our board meetings, it was not easy decisions, but there was a reassessment of every single line item in our budget as to whether or not this is a need or not. And hard decisions are made, but those are the things that every single year, our priority is to make sure that we are reassessing that. The other thing I will just say about the budget is that I represent the whole community in that budget. I have my parents that live here, I have my brothers that live here, and it's not just me and my kids, but the entire community. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cosentino. We will now go with Mr. Cornman.
Thank you. I think there's no one thing to do. I think this is going to require essentially covering all the bases. We need to forecast properly. There needs to be a deep look at what can be saved from with regards to operational expenses like utilities, and also consider alternate ways to reduce our busing costs, because those are both double-digit cost increase, and they just keep going up. Renegotiating contracts, that needs to be something that is considered every year, not just years when we run out of money. It should be a continual thing throughout the year. I think working with the PTA is a great way to fill the gap in some situations. It's not a crutch. We can't build around that. But we also need to work on refilling our reserve budget, because that's the whole purpose of that, is for unexpected expenses. And right now we're just draining it. So that's all.
Thank you, Mr. Cornman. Now we'll go with Mr. Kirkowski.
Thank you. Would you mind repeating the question one more time?
No problem. What measures do you plan to implement to prevent a significant tax increase in the future?
Yeah, I think the 1 minute won't do it a little justice here, but I think if we take a step back and frame this clearly, because there's a lot of noise around the budget. Over the last 5 years, the average budget increase that we've provided, including this year, including the 6.3%, is 2.7% over the last 5 years, far below the rate of inflation. It's important to know that this means that we weren't passing rising costs on the taxpayers, we were absorbing them while we were continuing to invest in the district. The assistant superintendent of finance is one of the hardest positions to find, as the community may have seen over the last several years. I think we're grateful that Ms. Carlin has accepted the full-time position. She's offered financial rigor and a new approach to how we need to go about that. So having a proper forecast is critical, but we have done a significant amount of cuts this year, and I'm happy to go into more information later. But thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kirkowski. Now we'll go on with Ms. Geathers.
Ms. Geathers, yes, thank you. Addressing the budget requires a careful balance between the needs of our students and the realities faced by our taxpayers. My approach is centered on responsible stewardship and practical transparency. I plan to closely examine our operational practices to find efficiencies and ensure that every tax dollar spent is maximizing the resources available for our classrooms. It's not just about cutting costs. It's about making smart, strategic investments that directly benefit our educational programs while being completely open with the community about where and why the funds are being allocated. That would be my plan. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Geathers. Now we'll go on with Mr. Felon.
Thank you. So creating a school budget is not unlike creating a budget you have at home. You have fixed expenses and you have variable expenses. What a lot of people not that they don't understand, but what they're not seeing that we're seeing is about 80% of our costs going in every year are fixed. They're contractual, so they are there and they're increasing. On top of that, only 15% of what we receive in this district are directly from the state. Everything else is funded by taxpayers here. We have to be very careful in forecasting out what we're looking at and what we want to keep and what we want to remove. That's why this year, to Jill's point, we went through every single line item to find efficiencies here. On the busing comment, we've actually reduced to a 3-tier busing schedule, where we've saved, I think, about $450,000 alone just in that one change. There are other changes that we're also looking at there that could also expand the increases on a go-forward basis. Sometimes you have to make tough decisions on a school budget, just like you will have to on a home budget, but we're looking at everything as carefully as possible, and we promise you that that's what we're doing on a daily basis.
Thank you, Mr. Felon. Would anyone like to rebuttal? Go ahead, Mr. Corman.
If I may reply to the comment about the buses, while that may be a savings, I would say it's a patch on a long-term pattern. The buses continue to cost more money, and we need a solution that is going to be more long-term. I don't think we can keep cutting bus routes. And with regards to some of the other items, I'll leave that for later, but thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Corman. Would anyone else? Mr. Kirkowski?
Yes, great. Reed, I know you've came to the board meetings over the past several years advocating for electric buses, that we need to invest in that, I believe. So they're 3 times the cost of a gas bus. So I don't think those are the proper investments, right? And when you're contractually obligated to a contract, you can renegotiate them, but we've made the transportation line item went up $500,000, and we reduced that by $400,000. Additionally, you talked about reserves. We don't want to go into the reserves, but we had unexpected costs from special ed of $3 million, and that wasn't a forecasting issue. That was based on unexpected costs that we had to go into the reserves for those things.
Thank you, Mr. Kirkowski. Anyone else? No. Thank you.
From the Waverly PTA, what are your priorities when it comes to class sizes, teacher support, and access to specialists like reading, speech, and counselors for kindergarten and first grade students? We'll start with Mr. Kornman.
Sorry, can you repeat that one more?
Yes. What are your priorities when it comes to class sizes, teacher support, and access to specialists like reading, speech, and counselors for kindergarten and first grade students?
I think they're critically important. Often kids coming in at that age are not fully acclimated to the environment. I know firsthand from a lot of my friends that that's when problems tend to crop their head, rear their head. So it's a critically important thing. But yeah, I think we should make sure we have the support the teachers need. We should listen to them. We should have shared resources where needed, make adjustments based on the incoming student body. And yeah, that's my stance.
Thank you. Mr. Krukowski?
Thank you. Would you mind repeating it one more time?
Yes. What are your priorities when it comes to class sizes, teacher support, and access to specialists like reading, speech, and counselors for kindergarten and first grade students?
Great, thank you. In the early grades, class sizes and access to specialists is critical, right? If you get this wrong, everything downstream is harder. Our priority has been, with this budget and over the last several years, is maintaining manageable class sizes where students get those attention. Ensuring teachers have support they need to succeed is critical, and it starts by having the right size of the class, having the right specialists so students can be pulled out the right way, and that requires the right type of level of investment, ongoing and long-term. Providing those access to specialists early can be some of the greatest impact you can have on the youngest learners. So those are things that we have made conscious decisions to invest, and we're starting to see those real results now. And I think we need to continue that, but with a lens of evaluating, right, and not just assuming that it's working. We always need to continue to evaluate and further invest in those opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Ms. Gathers?
Yes, so Waverly is where all of our littles start, and we want to keep class sizes manageable and reasonable so that teachers can provide the individualized attention to our youngest learners. Also, we should be prioritizing the specialists. I view reading and speech counselors not as extras, but as foundational necessities. And I will prioritize our budget to ensure that these early grade specialists are fully staffed so that we can address learning gaps early, not after the fact. Also, we want to ensure that our educators have robust professional development and classroom resources while simultaneously working to minimize unnecessary administrative burdens so that they can focus on teaching entirely. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mr. Fellon?
Thank you. So class sizes are the single most important factor in a child's education. So we, as a board, have made sure that when we reviewed this budget, that the class sizes remain the same throughout. That was a non-starter for us. We had to keep it that way because we had to ensure that classrooms are manageable, not only from a behavioral standpoint, but from an educational standpoint. Compounded further, to look at the MTSS and the AIS services that we provide at all levels, that is a program that we have expanded under our watch, where we prefer to have AIS capabilities for everybody. Young learners, older learners, you want to make sure that they are getting the services and the students are met where they need to be met, period.
Thank you so much. Ms. Casanito?
Thank you. Just to reemphasize, the class sizes are very important to us. It is what you are going to vote on when you vote for the budget. If you vote yes, that is what you are voting for. If the budget gets voted down, unfortunately, that will not remain the same. That is very important to our youngest learners mostly, and every student in this district. As far as support services, just to reiterate what Sean said, we have spent a lot of time revamping the MTSS structure, focusing on push in and push out services for our students, making sure they are evaluated to make sure we are meeting them where they need to be met, and that they move on to Ann Hutch and Greenvale at the levels that they should be. We are implementing the literacy and curriculum program that aligns with science of reading in order to ensure the strongest fundamentals of reading for our youngest learners. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Does anyone have a rebuttal? No? Okay.
This is our last question. It's from the sports club. The sports club has gone above and beyond to drive school spirit and branding, such as a $20,000 investment in gym and lobby. However, the halls, lobbies, and fields are below standard when compared to local schools. Is the board aware of this, and if so, what are its plans? We'll start with Mr. Krukowski.
Yes, the board is very aware of it. It's a topic that we continue to discuss, throughout the year. As it relates to the fields, there are some creative discussions that have taken place. It's not something that, is approved or more to come next year on that. But it is a topic that we constantly look at and look through. And we weigh and balance out, the proper level of investment. I think from an athletic department, we've tried to revamp that by getting the right leadership in place, by updating policy, that's a clear responsibility of the board, and making sure that the athletic director, the superintendent, has the right tools to manage that department. And we have made significant investments over the years in the athletic department, and that is still a big topic of discussion on an ongoing basis of how we do that and how do we do that effectively.
Ms. Gathers?
As we know, in the last few years, the athletic department has had a lot of turnover. We must provide the necessary administrative support so that the athletic department isn't stretched too thin. So we could be fostering a supportive, professional environment where we can retain leadership and give our athletic programs the consistency they deserve. When we don't have people that we can trust in our departments, our students don't feel safe. We have had that situation happen not too long ago for the parents that have been here in this district for a while. We need to ensure that our students are being coached properly, and again, they feel supported and safe. Thank you.
Mr. Fallon?
Thank you. So as a former high school athlete and a college athlete, I understand the importance of what athletics does for a student. I also understand what it's like to be proud when you get onto that field and represent your school in a manner that is what you would expect. We have over 500 student athletes throughout the district, over 80+ sport teams. All are using our fields on a daily basis. This is something the board is extremely aware of, and conversations have been ongoing as far as I've been on the board about revamping everything. We want to keep the athletes on the field, and we also want them to be proud of the facilities and continue to excel at their respective sports.
Ms. Cosentino?
Thank you. Eastchester sports programs are critical to our students' overall development. When we got on the board a few years ago, the budget for athletics was less than 1.5% of the overall budget. I know a lot of folks have been focused on the fact that there's been a lot of advancements in athletics, but that's really us just playing catch up. We want to be competitive with Westchester's top schools, and we need to be able to do that. We've invested in athletics, but we know that there's still a lot more to do. When we also came on the board, our fields were in disarray, and we partnered with the Eastchester Little League to help us revamp some of those. With the budget position that we're in, we're going to continue to find other ways to be able to manage our fields and our buildings. For example, I'm actually on the Eastchester 5K board as well. And last year, with the help of the sports club's tremendous rallying around this event, we were able to put brand new trophy cases in the halls of Eastchester High School, which look amazing. So by doing things like that, we can make sure that we are still focusing on athletics. Thank you.
Mr. Kornman?
Thank you. On the topic of sports, all three of my kids love sports. They play sports, so I'm framing my perspective from theirs. I also played sports up until college, so I can attest to its value. I think it's important that we pay attention to the budget, but at the same time, we have to make sure that we don't leave the aspects of sports that are important for the children's safety behind. There's quite a few repairs that obviously need to be done, so we need to prioritize those over new items such as lights for later practices, I believe. But that doesn't mean that we can't have our cake and eat it too, to some perspective. We can work with organizations to do fundraisers, and I think we can still achieve a tremendous step forward in our athletics in the coming years. So thank you.
Does anyone want to rebuttal? I believe that was our last question.
This mic still works? Okay. So, thank you all for your time. We will now begin with the closing statements, starting with Ms. Constantino and then Mr. Felon, and working down the order.
Thank you. First, I want to extend my sincere thanks to our amazing administrators and educators. You are the primary reason for Eastchester's success. I also want to thank the Debate Club for hosting this event and the community for your time and attention tonight. When I took my seat on the board 3 years ago, we set clear priorities. As we've discussed tonight, we have made meaningful, measurable progress across each of these goals. For a number of years, our district was stagnant. For those of you new to the community, it is important to recognize that the excellence your children experience today is the direct result turning these clear priorities into action. Eastchester has always been a good district. Today, it is better. But more importantly, it is now the potential to be truly great. Taking Eastchester from better to great is why experience matters. Having this experience allows us to immediately build on the foundation we've laid. I want to emphasize, continuous improvement does not mean simply spending more money. True improvement requires the insight to adjust our strategies as we go, ensure our efforts actually deliver to the measurable outcomes our students and taxpayers deserve. With my perspective as a board member for the past 3 years, my professional experience, and my deep knowledge of this community, I believe I am well positioned to continue building upon our momentum and ensure Eastchester remains a top-rated, highly desirable school. With my 3 children in the district, I am fully invested in our future. Leadership is about listening, and I am running for re-election to continue being your voice. My promise to you remains the same: collaborative, willingness to hear every perspective, and I will continue to advocate for changes that support our children's best interest and keep students my first priority. I would be honored to be re-elected as trustee alongside Rob and Sean. Thank you.
Mr. Felon, whenever you're ready.
Thank you again to everyone who joined us tonight, and thank you to the Debate Club for hosting this important event. I also want to thank my fellow candidates for a thoughtful discussion about the future of our schools and our community. This election is about continuing the progress we have made while always striving to do more for our students. It is about maintaining strong academics, supporting every learner, expanding opportunities in the arts and athletics, and ensuring our children are prepared for success in a changing world. As both a board member and a parent with 3 children in this district, I understand how important these decisions are for every family. I know what is at stake, and I remain committed to leading with transparency, responsibility, and a student-first mindset. I am proud of what we have accomplished together, but I am even more excited about what lies ahead. With you, support, we can continue building on our successes and keep moving our district forward. I respectfully ask for your vote on May 19th. Please remember to vote for Jill, Rob, and Sean, and thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful evening.
All right. Ms. Gathers, whenever you're ready.
Thank you all for your time and thoughtful questions. Tonight we've discussed budgets, safety, and achievement, but what really unites us is our commitment to our Eastchester Eagles. I'm a mom who is right there with you, navigating the drop-off lines and evening homework struggles. I share your everyday concerns, and I want exactly what you want, for our kids to feel supported and inspired. If elected, I promise to bring both a mother's perspective and my professional operations background to the table. Electing divergent thinkers isn't about creating opposition. It is essential for a healthy board. It prevents an echo chamber and highlights a broader array of views to build stronger solutions. We have an incredible school district, but there is always room to grow. I will always work to strike the right balance, fiercely advocating for our students' needs while honoring our community's fiscal commitment and ensuring not a single tax dollar is wasted. I would be honored to earn your support. Please use your most important asset, your voice. Cast your ballot on Tuesday, May 19th at EMS. Polls are open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Deadlines for early voting and absentee voting can be found on the district website and at votereedandbrenna.com. Together, we can truly elevate Eastchester. Thank you and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you to the Debate Club for hosting tonight and for the thoughtful questions. 3 years ago, you gave me the opportunity to serve this community, and together we've delivered real results. What we've done in Eastchester isn't random improvement, it's been deliberate. We built a K-12 system designed to produce real outcomes for our students, and today we're seeing that take shape. From stronger programs in our early grades to real results at the high school, with more students assessing college-level opportunities and preparing for what comes next. That kind of progress doesn't happen by chance. It happens with the right leadership, a clear focus, and a commitment to getting it right for students. And we're not done. There's still more work ahead to continuing to elevate Eastchester, ensuring every student in this district has access to opportunities, support, and the experience they need to succeed. I'm not running on promises. I'm running on a record, and I'm asking for the opportunity to keep building on that progress. I'm grateful to be running alongside Jill and Sean, and I'm confident that together we'll continue delivering for our schools and for every student in this district. I respectfully ask for your vote on May 19th. Thank you.
Whenever you're ready, Mr. Madison. No, wrong one.
Thank you all for being here tonight and listening to everyone speak. I look forward to serving our community and delivering the best possible results on time and on budget. I know there are many difficult decisions ahead of the board and the superintendent in the coming weeks and years. It's vitally important that we have the right people on the school board to do this work. I know my experience operating in difficult times under extreme pressure will bring forth the best possible outcome for our children. I've watched this board over the past few years rapidly build out many new programs to support our students, but we need to take a more strategic and long-term approach that is fiscally responsible so that we do not lose any momentum by placing the school budget in peril. We need to have a fully funded contingency budget and not leave any money on the table by ignoring grants and initiatives while consistently evaluating ways to minimize our contract costs and outside uncontrollable expenses. I am Reed Kornman. Look for me and Brenna on the ballot. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you to all our candidates for your thoughtful participation this evening, and to our audience, both here and at home, for your time, attention, and commitment to staying informed. We would also like to extend our appreciation to everyone who helped make tonight possible, including our student volunteers and faculty advisors. Events like this are a testament to the strength of our community and the importance we place on open dialogue and civic responsibility. We encourage everyone to continue engaging in the democratic process, to reflect on what you've heard tonight, and most importantly, to make your voice heard. On behalf of the Eastchester High School Mock Trial and Debate Clubs, thank you again for joining us and have a wonderful evening.